Map your brain with solo travel. I'm awake to my body clock before the alarm startles me into life. I roll and stretch to silence the chime, using the same hand in the identical manner as yesterday. I head for the bathroom without the need to look to avoid bumping into furniture. I could walk this route with my eyes closed. Wetting my hair under the shower, I add shampoo before reaching for the soap to wash my body in the usual order. I dry my hair, groom, and dress in the style people expect to see me each day. After making coffee and breakfast, I drive to work along the same route, undertake my memorised roles, and relate to my colleagues at work in the same fashion as always. Have I needed to engage my brain at all? Or am I merely operating on autopilot? Beyond allowing us to think, learn and act, our brains have levels of perception, awareness and consciousness. However, when we repeatedly behave in the same way every day, our brains remain in a default pattern. If we haven't extended or challenged ourselves, we can't expect anything different to manifest into our lives. However, there's a perfect solution to this, a solution I was soon to be reminded of on an upcoming solo trip to Italy. Arriving at Rome's Fiumicino Airport mid-afternoon, almost 24 hours after leaving Australia, I set off to find the adjacent train station. With my luggage retrieved from the carousel, successful navigation through the terminal, and eventual transition through passport control, I'm ready to catch a train to the city. As a solo woman traveller, I'm feeling slightly intimidated as I fend away offers from an array of taxi drivers. I strut ahead, giving the appearance that I know just where I'm going and don't need any assistance. Truth be known, I'm like the proverbial duck, calm and controlled above the surface, but paddling like crazy underneath. My eyes dart left and right, avoiding the pleading eyes of taxi drivers until I locate the signs directing me to the trains. It's now time to switch on. Should I use my credit card to purchase a ticket or take out some of the unusual currency I'm carrying? I fumble with the coins in my travel purse. So which coin is which? And how much do I need for the ticket machine? Maybe I should buy a ticket over the counter. But then if I do that, I'll probably have to speak to them in Italian and perhaps not. I relax a little once on the train with step one accomplished. I attempt to translate conversations I'm hearing of those around me. Every so often I hear an Italian word I recognise and I smile proudly to myself. Dragging my luggage, I wait for a coach carrying Korean tourists to pass by. A whoosh of warm air and diesel fumes messes with my hair and makes me squint. I push my hair aside, then look both ways before dodging other vehicles and scurry across the busy road, leaving Rome's Termini station behind me. Thank goodness I've got a portable Wi-Fi device. I turn it on and scroll through my emails to recheck the details of the bed and breakfast I've booked. Now if I keep heading northwest, cross over 2 streets, then make a left, it should be a little way down on the left. I think that's right, half doubting myself as I look up and down the busy road. I'm hurrying and I'm not sure why. The small wheels on my luggage bump and grind noisily on the uneven cobblestone surface, seemingly louder than the traffic. Not wanting to draw attention to myself, again, I walk with the air of confidence of a savvy traveller. Those days of cruising on autopilot are behind me. I now must concentrate on what I'm doing and where I'm going. My accommodation is at number 58. I just passed 66. How did I miss the address? I didn't see any signs of the hotel. I backtrack calmly, but still fearful of gaining an audience. This time I'm more aware of what's around me. A brass plaque adjacent to a wide arched entrance denotes the tenants' names, inclusive of my accommodation. Turning an iron doorknob, I push open the heavy carved wooden door and stumble into the foyer. Cold air and a musty smell startle me. Adjusting to the dim light, I seek out the elevator and head upstairs to check in. Thankfully, Francesco, my bubbly host, speaks English, and I breathe a sigh of relief as he shows me to my delightful double room. I love that there's an opening window. I push aside the sheer white curtain, open the shutters, and soak up the sights and sounds of the street below. I'm in Rome. I've made it on my own. Tonight's reservation is the only booking I've made. I've got no other plans. I have a clean palette on which to paint the rest of my 2-week stay. I'm really excited and enthused by the flexibility and the avenue I have for decision making and planning. Step aside, autopilot. I'm in charge now. After a charming breakfast of juice, pastries and coffee, I book another night's stay and then collect a paper map and a business card from reception. I spend the day wandering the streets of Rome. Everything around me has such energy. Overhearing conversations in the poetic language, the splash of water spilling from ornate fountains, the smell of fresh coffee, everything is magnified. I feel so awakened. I stop for lunch at an outdoor table on the edge of Piazza Navone. I joke with those around me and my head is thrown back with laughter as a waiter fills my glass with a crisp white wine. The aroma of my pasta pescatore permeates my nostrils and my mouth waters. The vibe around the restaurant is lively. The classical tune of a violin and piano accordion waft across the sun-soaked square as the sounds of casual buskers add to the clink of glasses and cutlery and joyous chatter. I feel my face warming, a welcome effect from the sunshine and white wine. Pushing the remnants of my pasta aside, I reach my iPad, start to plan my next few days. I dream of staying in a seafront property with a balcony on the Italian Riviera. I check the Trenitalia website for train options, and then I start to research accommodation in Positano or Rapallo. Scribbling details on a serviette and taking screenshots, I eventually have a plan in place. I feel adequately armed for the next phase of my trip as I bid farewell to Francesco and return to Roma Termini station. Suitably armed to get on the right train in Europe's second largest station among 33 platforms? Are you kidding me? This is going to test me. Bumping my way through a sea of commuters, I reach the illuminated signs near the platforms. There are about 20 departures listed with all the stops flashing before my eyes. I'm so early. My train to Rapallo isn't even displayed yet. I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable when I see that displayed and I know the platform I should be on. Should I get myself a coffee? And where are the bathrooms? I'm feeling a million miles away from my everyday life. The Intercity 510 arrives on my platform. I peer through the alighting passengers to read the carriage numbers and referred back to my digital ticket on my iPhone. So, I'm in carriage number 1. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to find. It's got to be at one end or the other. Seat 105, seat 105. I say over and over in my mind, anxiously searching for the large leather seat reserved for me. Over the ensuing 5 hours, I unwind with a hearty dose of satisfaction and refreshments, and marvel as fields of sunflowers and cereal crops and pretty coastal views pass by my smudgy train window. Arriving in Rapallo, I enter the address of my hotel into Google Maps and walk the 7 minutes to the seafront property. My room is just as I imagined, with glass doors opening onto a small balcony overlooking the ocean. Perfect! I lean against the rusty wrought iron balcony railing to breathe in the fresh sea air and view. To my right, weather-beaten but defiant, stands the Castello do Mare, the castle on the sea. A fortification built almost 470 years ago to protect the city. Beyond the castle and the shimmering blue waters of the bay, yachts and motor cruisers are moored within a breakwater and marina. Passengers like marching ants alight a ferry. no doubt returning from a short tour across the magnetic blue Ligurian Sea to nearby Portofino. The slight breeze has subsided completely and the air is body temperature as I enjoy an evening drink on the balcony. It seems Picasso has reached for pale pastels of salmon pink, mauve, lemon and lavender and painted the scene where I'm immersed. The changing colour of the sky throws petunia pinks across the whole landscape and I feel I'm in heaven. I wake early on my second day. Sitting on the balcony wearing nothing but a jumper, it's still dark and a gentle breeze flutters the large Italian flag atop the castle. The full moon illuminates the inky black sea where the city lights reflect and the waves crash ever so gently. Stars sparkle in the clear sky as they await the sun's arrival and a new day in paradise. However, a storm later moves across my peaceful haven on the Riviera. I decide to bunker in for another night and hope the weather improves. Sitting alone in a bar, I order a minestrone and a bottle of Chianti Classico. Outside there is thunder, lightning, strong winds and heavy rain. Andrea Bocelli plays through the speakers inside. I close my eyes and lose myself in his voice. It stirs something within and a tear escapes my closed eye and rolls down my cheek, tickling as it goes. And then more tears build as the moment acts like a poultice, drawing out toxic emotions deep inside and carries me away. Con te partido, indeed. Eventually it is time to leave. After checking the weather websites, I can see the only region in Italy where rain isn't forecast in the coming days is the East Coast. I make a reservation for the train to Ancona. The stormy weather continues as I eat breakfast. The waitress tells me that local schools are closed because of the rain. She's intrigued to learn that where I come from, schools are closed in case of bushfires in summer. I call for a taxi. My driver meets me at the door and chuckles as I nestle against him to stay dry under his umbrella as we run to the car. I ask him questions about the train station. His English-speaking skills mirror the shortfalls of my Italian knowledge, and I'm left wishing my brain could retrieve the phrases I learned before I came away. I wait on the platform as there's a rain delay, then board for the 2-hour journey until I need to change trains again. The pressure eases when I locate my next train in Milano Centrale station and find my seat. The skies are clearing as I relax back on the train and book online for a hotel in Ancona. Again, I'm grateful for the portable Wi-Fi device. For a woman travelling alone, it gives such peace of mind. I'm really enjoying this on-the-fly travel. I've always listed impulsiveness and spontaneity as two of my strengths, so this solo venture sits well with me. I'm relishing the challenge of making it up as I go. The language and cultural differences cause me to think deeply about what I say and how I act. It's a distinct change from the established patterns I live by at home. When the time comes to fly home to Australia, I'll be happy for my airline to lock in autopilot. However, the benefits of the brain stimulation I'm achieving on this adventure, just by thinking outside of my usual realm, will remain forever. Or at least until I want another top up in Italy. Cheers.